Why did I start the video while I was chewing? Well, you're not perfect either, so let's all get to it. I don't know who needs to hear this, but parenting, getting a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old to behave is a gender neutral activity. There's nothing magical about getting a 2-year-old or a 4-year-old to behave, and I've been praised on my wonderfully behaved children, and my wife, God bless her, has expressed difficulty in getting the children to behave, and I have no difficulty with this whatsoever. I'm also a psychologist. I'm an older brother, older cousin, person with a peculiar and enduring but compassionate interest in human behavior. This is all there is to it. You have consistent boundaries, and you enforce those boundaries. That looks like spanking, if that's what it needs to be. I have very, very willful children, and I need to spank them. I've tried even spanking them lightly. They do the same thing that they were just doing right away again, so I have to spank them harder. And I tell them, while I'm spanking them, I flip them over onto their belly, over my knee, and then I spank them on their bare butt. Hard. I started very lightly as possible. I start by just flip them over my knee, and just tap them. Give them a love tap. If that doesn't work, then spank them a little harder. That doesn't work, spank them a little harder. It's up to them. They have free will. They can decide how hard they get spanked because they're young, and they need to be conditioned to follow my boundaries so that I can have a good relationship with them. And I have a great relationship with my kids. I love my kids. Here's an image of me and my daughter on a walk from yesterday. It was amazing. We had a great time together. She loves me. She's always happy to see me, and I'm always happy to see her. I am genuinely happy to see my daughter because I have consistent boundaries, and she knows what those boundaries are. And the way I see it is I have basically until the age of 5, 6, or 7. Really, by 7 it kind of ends. If I can't get them to understand my boundaries by 7, good luck. What do you do? Spank a 12-year-old? Good luck with that. That's hard. By 14, your kids aren't going to listen to you. So I just want, and what I do is I just get them to obey me before they even have strong memories of me spanking them. So they're going to be 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and they're just going to obey me, and they're not even going to know why. They're just going to be I just obey daddy. I didn't even obey him. I just naturally do the things that he wants me to do, and we have a great relationship. And I'm going to take my daughter to work with me. I'm going to take both my daughters to work with me. I already do sometimes, but this is the thing. And this is the thing I think people struggle with the most is they're just oh no, my kids, they don't listen to me. It's how many times do you jump off of buildings? How many times do you put your face on a hot stove? You don't. Why? Because it hurts. Well, you know what hurts? Having a terrible relationship with your children because they just keep on doing the same stuff that drives you crazy. So you hate them secretly because they just drive you nuts. And they pick up on that, and then they don't really like you that much either. And they love you. I mean, they want to like you, but they don't know how because you don't like them because you're annoyed every time you see them. My 2 children behave wonderfully for me. Because if they don't, I say this. I say, stop doing that. And if they do it again, maybe I spank them, maybe I don't. They don't really know, though. I'm not going to warn them. I'm not going to be oh, if you keep doing that, I'm going to spank you. I just say, stop doing that. And I don't say that unless there's an actual problem with what they're doing. If they're doing something that merely mildly bothers me, I will take the time to say, hey, look, you're making a little bit of a mess here. Let's clean that up together. Hey, maybe don't do that over here. Let's go over here and do that. And if they immediately, let's just say they're painting. Let's say they're painting in the living room for whatever reason. I would say, we don't paint in the living room. Let's not do that. And I bring the paints and everything over to the kitchen. And then if they brought the paints back to the living room, but this is a made-up scenario, I'd just be do not bring paint in the living room. I would say it exactly like that. If they brought paint in the living room again, I would spank them both. Probably rather lightly. Just to let them know, Flip them over. It's like a ceremony. It's I'm going to flip you over my knee, and I'll give you a love tap on your butt. Don't do that. It's on the butt, always, because you can hit someone pretty hard in the butt without injuring them. I do not ever want to injure my children. I don't want my children to ever fear that I will injure them. I'm not going to injure them. I am merely going to impose discipline. Because I need to live in this house, they need to live in this house, and we need to live together because they're going to follow me in the family business. I'm going to homeschool them because I'm not sending them to public school. I hated public school. I had nightmares of school. It's terrible. And you're just relying on someone else to discipline your kids, and it's just not really effective. So, yeah. And then if they did it immediately again, I'd be like, oh, okay, this is a boundary test. This is you trying to see, like, if I flip you over my knee as my kid, like let's say you're some theoretical situation, you're my kid, and I flip you over my knee, and I give you a love tap on your butt, and I say, do not do that. We don't do that. And then you go immediately do it again. You're a little shit. And I'm going to spank you hard. That is what I do to my children. And then they just obey me. And then I take them everywhere with me. And I tell them all the time, like, you guys are so wonderfully behaved. I love taking you everywhere with me. I love you guys so much. And they love me. And I genuinely love them. And I genuinely love taking them places. And when I take them places, people are like, wow, your kids are so wonderfully behaved. They're like little princesses. And they're so happy to hear that. And they have everyone loves them. Everyone in my family loves them. Everyone they meet loves them because they are wonderfully behaved always, because they have consistent boundaries. You can't reason with a 3-year-old. You can't be like, we don't do that because of... You don't do it because I said not to do it. And if you keep doing stuff I say not to do, I'm going to spank you. Because... I'd be like, what, you're just going to ignore me your whole life? You're just going to, like, have this life of disobeying me and undermining me in every way? Because then you're going to go get arrested. You're just going to continue that behavior and then go get arrested. And they're going to do a lot worse things to you. I mean, the world will do a lot worse things to you than spank you before you can even really remember it if you do not follow the edicts of the world. So I want to teach them all about the world, but in order to do that, I have to bring them with me places. And in order to do that, I need to trust they're not going to just run through a parking lot and get hit by a car. So one time, my daughter tried to run away from me in a parking lot. She got a very hard spanking. She has never tried to run away from me in a parking lot again. That's wonderful because I have a living daughter. It benefits her, it benefits me. I don't know who needs to hear this, but getting a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, or a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old, or a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old to obey you is not a gender-specific activity. It's not like there's a feminine way to do it and there's a masculine way to do it. It's just boundaries. If you're going to run through a parking lot or try to run through a parking lot, I'm going to hurt you on the butt, where you're not going to get injured, but it's going to hurt because a car is going to do a lot worse to you than spank you. It'll run you over and you'll be dead. So it's actually kindness, because otherwise then I wouldn't take them anywhere because it would be too dangerous. And then my children would have a very limited experience of the world, which they don't like. I mean, they like having the experience of the world they have. So I don't know who needs to hear this, but this is just how you get a 2-year-old, 3-year-old, 4-year-old to obey you. And you should really get them to just habitually obey you before they're 7. Really, probably before they're 5. But really, like, and like my 4-year-old, my daughter just turned 4. And, yeah, I'm going to put a lot of emphasis this next year on getting her to obey me. Like, she is just going to obey all the rules. They can be very consistent rules, because children need consistency. It's going to be consistent, and she is going to obey them. And I will shower her in love and attention and anything she wants for her to obey me, when she does obey me. But if she doesn't obey me, I will say, do not do that. If she does it again, spank. She does it again, spank harder. She does it again, spank harder. This isn't politically correct, but I don't care if I have to hit my kids on the ass so hard they can't sit down for a week. They are going to obey me, because that is what's best for them, and that is what's best for me. And I feel like modern parents have lost this. And this is why, like, people have 2 children. They're completely overwhelmed, whereas our great-grandparents had, like, 8 kids, and they were fine. It's like, why was that? I'll leave that to you. Okay, so I was just about to upload the video, and I just had a thought. Like, I wanted to add this on, because it's a little intense. Like, this is intense stuff. I mean, I'm talking about hitting my children, like, the people I love most in the world. I mean, Like, it's a certain kind of love, you know, you have for your kid. Like, it's heart-wrenching stuff. Like, you just hit your kids like that? Like, oh my God. The goal is just to communicate in a way that they understand. I have very, very willful children. Like, some of the most willful children you ever meet, but they're the most well-behaved children you ever meet. So I don't really have to spank them. I just was consistent from the beginning. And, like, the only times I really had to spank them hard is, like, I mean, I'll just say it this way. Screaming in the car, like if I'm driving and you just keep screaming and you won't stop for no reason, and I've already given you everything you need, your needs are all met, and you just won't stop screaming, because that's their way of punishing you. When they're whining, screaming and stuff, and you're trying to meet their needs, but they just keep whining and stuff, they're punishing you for not obeying them. But they're not in charge. You're in charge. At least you should be. So let's say like that time. But again, it's like, if I just have to give you a love tap, I just have to give you a love tap. I don't want to hit them. But if I give them a love tap and then they immediately do it again, I feel like they're asking the question of, well, why should I obey you? Why should I? I try rewards. I use rewards a lot too. If they do something that bothers me, I'll be like, do push-ups. If they want candy, they can do push-ups for candy. It's good candy. It's healthier candy. It's just crystallized pineapple. But they love it. They want to watch TV. Sometimes I let them. Do push-ups and I'll let you watch TV. If they're whining, I'll be like, stop whining. Do you keep whining? Sit in the stairs. Get off the stairs. Spanking. Or I'll be like, do push-ups. You get off the stairs, do push-ups and get back on the stairs. And then they don't do the push-ups. Spanking. It's not really push-ups. They can't do push-ups, but I have them like do a plank for like 10 seconds. And it's like, I try everything to avoid the spanking. And the whole goal of all of this is just to get them to do behaviors that I can reward. I want to give my kids positive reinforcement. That's all I ever want to give them, is positive reinforcement. So I have to condition them to do positive things so that they get the positive reinforcement. And I also just watch them like a hawk. Every time they do something well, oh my God, that's amazing, that's so good, and I reward them for doing good things. But it's like, if you know, you know. If your kids just magically behave, this video is not for you. But the whole goal is just to get your children to manifest behavior that you can reward, so that you can have a relationship where you're rewarding them. It's a rewarding relationship for you. You're not worried they're going to like leave the house and wander the streets randomly by unlocking doors or something. You're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit gets crazy. I need to know that my kids will obey me. I also listen to them all the time. I talk to them. I read them stories. You gotta have a relationship with your kids, but it's also like just boundaries. You gotta have boundaries. I don't know, like, gotta have boundaries. If you do not have boundaries, then consistent boundaries, then you're gonna have a relationship without consistent boundaries, which you probably don't want. Maybe you do, who knows? But I just wanted to say that, like, this is based off of a conversation conversations I've had with people, where they just don't seem to grasp this fact. Like, it starts with them telling me, they're like, I'm miserable. My kids are making me miserable. This is how this starts. It's like, people will tell me, my kids are making me miserable. And I'm like, that's terrible. You should love your children. You should be happy to see them. They should know that you're happy to see them. And they're like, well, I'm just not. Then I'm like, well, why? And it always comes down to this. You have little kids under the age of 5. They don't have behavior problems. You have boundary problems. You have consistent boundary problems. Like, that's what I've seen. My kids love to obey me because I've conditioned them to consistently. I don't know. Make this video what you will. I hope it doesn't end up on like the night, like the late night news. Local parent abuses children. It's not child abuse. The world will do far worse things to your child than lovingly enforce consistent boundaries so that it can shower rewards on them. And all you need to do to see that is open your eyes.